Hi everyone and welcome to Hobby World. Today I have an insanely awesome episode for you. I'm going to install this incredible Lightbridge I made a couple of episodes ago, and it's going to be absolutely insane. I'm also going to install a couple of sensors on the track, and then I'm going to test out everything and see if it works. So if you're interested in seeing how this turns out, please stay on the channel. I have just made a small or quick setup here to test the sensors for the racetrack. I'm going to use optical sensors that's placed below the Lightbridge I just completed, and the sensors will be located down on the start-finish line, and they look like this. This is a 3mm optical sensor that will register if the light is cut off, and that's the reason I have this lamp up here, just to simulate the Lightbridge that will be placed over these sensors. There'll be one for each lane, and they are connected to an Arduino Uno, and then I have installed some software that's called Race Coordinator on my computer. And as you can see here, if you're going to take a look at this one called Pin 5 Lab L2. It's red over here, and when the sensor is activated, or if the light to the sensor is broken, that one should turn green. So I'll just see if I can call both things here. You can see it shifts on the screen. This means that each time a car passes this sensor, it will register in the software and count that the car has made a lap. So this just works. I just love it when it works the first time. So really great. If you've seen some of my previous episodes, you'll know that I do a lot in 3D printing, and I'm working a lot with hobby projects. And this time I'm working on this classic hobby project with a completely scratch-built homemade slot car track. And I have rounded the tracks. I have added copper tape to them so the cars can run in these slots. And an episode or two ago I made this Lightbridge, and the Lightbridge is a very essential part of a track like the one I'm building here, because this Lightbridge is capable of casting lights down from the bottom of the bridge onto the track. And then you can ask, why cast light down on the track? And the reason for that is that you need to figure out how to count the laps and how to see when a car passes the start-finish line. And one of the ways you can do this is using a Lightbridge and a light-sensitive sensor. So I'm going to install a couple of these down into the track, and then the Lightbridge will be installed on top of them or above them. And each time the car passes, it will cover the light for the sensor, thereby making it dark down below the Lightbridge. And then the sensor will register that a car has passed the start-finish line. And as each driver is driving in their own track, this is a good old analog setup, it will know that player 1 or car 1 has passed the start-finish line, and then he can continue, and when he passes it again, it will measure that the car has passed, and you'll get the lap times, and a computer can keep track of an entire championship this way. Everything from single races to an entire championship. So now I'm going to start by installing the two sensors into the track right here, and I'm going to do that by drilling a couple of holes down into it, and then I'm going to install these homemade sensors I made by 3D printing a part that will fit exactly down into that hole, and I have already done all of the wiring, so that's pretty basic. So let's get started. I don't mind that I'm drawing a bit on this track, because I'll remove that later when I start working more on the scenery. So now we only need to find the middle of the center point. A nice marking for the holes. Let's just get that drilled. Just start with a smaller drill to get through it. Most of the stuff down there is polystyrene or foam board, as that's what I made the track surface of. This was actually quite lucky because I was a bit afraid I might hit a nail or something like that. Because when I assembled the track, I used several other stuff than simply glue to attaching all of the pieces together. So there are pieces of metal down there, but that turned out great. So let's just get this Lightbridge fixed up here. Oh, this is just perfect. I've just connected the small test setup with the Lightbridge over here. As you can see, I've turned on all of the lights. I haven't turned on the starting lights yet, but I have turned on the lights from the bridge and the lights for illuminating the banner up here. This looks really good, and this is just like I wanted it to look. I have also connected a computer just for a test setup. The Arduino here is the one that's controlling the connection with the computer and making sure that all the stuff that happens over here on the track is sent over here to the computer. And I'm using the software called Race Coordinator for this. I really enjoy this software. It's easy to set up, and it has just worked flawlessly for me. And that's an important part of working with a slot car track like this, that it works without any errors, especially when we're running tournaments and so on. Then it would be a real shame if it missed a lap and something like that. That could ruin the race. If we take a look at these settings in here, the pin 4 and 5 are the pins for counting the laps on these two tracks over here. And if I just put a hand below one of the sensors, see if I can do this with the camera, see if that happens. Yeah, we can see here that the lap 2 sensor is activated when I do this, and when I put the hand just like that below the second sensor, it is also activated over here. So this works just like it should. Now there's only one thing to do, and that's test this in a more lifelike setting, and that would be that I'm going to start up the old power supply way over there, and then allow a car just to run on the track and see if it activates the sensor. So I'm going to go over there and start that up now. Last time I worked with this, I just set the power supply for around 6.3 or 7 volts, and it just worked really well. And you can see the car there, it's just running just like it should. So now the exciting thing will be just also count the laps when I go over here, and we can just see if it counts by placing the camera here and see if it turns green over there when it passes. It's just a small flicker of the light, and the red light will turn green. So if it's green, this seems quite decent if I can capture both the lights. This works. Let's try to set up a race and see if it will also count the lap times and see how fast this car is running. I have just set up this testing ground for my slot car track, Lightbridge. We have the Lightbridge over here, everything's functional, it's casting light down on the track. We have the sensors in place, I tested the sensors, they work, and now we have the car here passing through and running through. And if we take a look over on the screen, we see that the lane 2 is this car. And each time the car passes the start-finish line, we see that it gets a new lap time, and this works really well down to 1,000th of a second, and as we can see, it just keeps popping up these lap times. So it works really well. And one thing that I noticed is that the power supply over there is on a fixed setting of 6.3 volts. And if we check out the lap times here, they're coming down here. Look how consistent they are. This is actually quite a good sign, because that means that there isn't a large power drop or anything like that on the track. This is just very consistent, and I like consistency. So great times, very happy about this. I'm not going to test these starting lights yet, because I need to attach some resistors to them before I can attach them to the Arduino. So I'm probably going to fix up that as the next part, and I'm going to show that off in the next video. Well, this turned out really well. This track just drives super consistently, and the Lightbridge looks good. The work on it, the painting of it, it's just incredible. The car runs as it should, the software is running as it should. This is actually lap times, but it's only varying with about 100th of a second, so that's extremely consistent. So if you enjoyed watching this video, and if you'd like to follow this project, where I'm going to work more on this track and build up all kinds of epic scenery for it until I got this completely finished track and we're about to race a championship race on it, then please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of the episodes. I know this is going to look incredible when it's finished, and I hope you'd like to follow the progress with this too. So please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Give a like down below, write a comment if you have any questions or feedback, and just have a nice day everyone. Thanks.